Namaste and welcome back to the weekly webinars. Before we begin, we have some exciting news for our friends in Delhi. Jayaji will be back in your city from 18th to 21st September for 4 evenings of powerful wisdom. Join Jayaji's WhatsApp community today to receive updates of her visit. Click the link in the description box to join. Now, I invite Jayaji to start with chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita.
ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
So today we begin with chapter 4. So the Bhagavad Gita is not just about the transcendental. Yes, it is. But it's also about achieving success in the world and being happy in the world. These two things itself we don't get. If you look at the world, how many people are successful? Very few. Happy, much less. And those who are successful are not happy, and those who are happy are not successful. So you're not looking for only one of them. You want a combination of the two. You may not want the transcendental consciously, but unconsciously we're all yearning for it. And you will never be happy till you get there. Look at India historically. It's been such a fabulous culture. It had mind-boggling wealth, the likes of which you can barely imagine now. There are descriptions of streets being lined with gold. Do you know anywhere now that where streets are lined with gold? There was power over the whole world, a kind of power that is not based on military prowess, economic bullying, or any of this that's going on in the world today. It was a soft power, a kind of power that attracts. It has a magnetic pull. And that is a fantastic power to have. A person who is an extremely loving person. Okay, forget that. An animal lover. Have you seen a person who loves dogs? Huh? He enters your home, you may have a pet dog at home. But the way your dog reacts to that dog lover is amazing. Elephants, dolphins, all creatures respond tremendously to just love. And that love doesn't need to be expressed. You just have it and they pick it up. So how much more powerful must it be with human beings? Then service. And that's what the 4th chapter is about. Giving. When you develop the attitude of giving, it has fantastic results for the giver, never mind the taker, never mind the recipient. The person who gives gets enriched. And these are principles, they appear simple, but we don't have it. We just don't have this attitude of giving, never mind giving. We just don't have this ability to reach out to people with affections, with basic affection. This afternoon I saw a small clip of an elephant that was taken care of by a man for something like 47 years. And the man was leaving. The elephant kept blocking his way because the elephant did not want him to go. You know, these are such touching examples of just love. And why can't you have it? It doesn't cost anything. But we insist on having negativity, on gossip mongering. See, why do you gossip negatively? Gossip means negative, right? Will you gossip about a husband and wife getting along superbly with each other? No. When the husband and wife don't get along, or they separate, or a divorce, then you want to gossip. Why? Because you have this negative streak. And this is at a global level. Breaking news on every TV channel is negative. Why? Because we want negativity. And we want to talk about it. Instead, just cultivate goodwill. And that makes for good business as well. You build wonderful partnerships, business partnerships. If you just have goodwill. And of course, knowledge. If you're a wise, knowledgeable person, you attract the whole world. This is what India had. This is what India has even now. Except that we Indians are not living it. That's the tragedy. So the Kaivalya Upanishad says, Na karmana na prajaya dhanena. Not by action, not by progeny, not by wealth, tyage naika, but by renunciation. You can achieve immortality. Immortality means you achieve the highest. So these principles were ingrained in the Indian psyche for centuries. So it flows in our blood. Therefore, even now, you look up to a person of renunciation. Somebody has given up, you admire it. Isn't that so? The amount of deep-rooted respect we have for a sannyas, just a person who wears ochre robes, never mind his character, never mind what he's done, just the ochre robes. Isn't it? This is what we signify. This is what we represent. The Indian race was not born to hang around malls, please. And that is all that is being built nowadays. The Indian gene was designed for higher things. So you look at the world, race after race, civilization after civilization, tried to achieve immortality through wealth, through political power, through military aggression, and failed. By chasing after desire and wealth, they failed. Look at the Roman Empire, look at the Greeks. All of them, Egyptians, came and went before you knew what was happening. And modern new ones are even worse. Look at America, Australia. How long is its history? 200 years? Within those 200 years, you see them collapsing. And that the rot is deep-rooted because there is no renunciation. Now, what is renunciation is a different topic altogether. And it's not as if we have it. I mean, we have it, but we're not living it. So they all fell under the weight of lust for gold and power. Not gold and power, but the lusting after it. You see the difference? We had gold and power, but we understood, like Swami Ramatirtha said brilliantly, what will gold buy you? But we are meant for finer things. So, and it brings in its wake, this lusting after gold and power brings in its wake degeneration of the human mind. And that is what we should prevent within us. Never mind collectively, individually, because what happens collectively is what happens individually. Today, where are we? We are also lusting after gold and power. Gold means money. And literally gold also. Because the amount of gold that is there among the Indian women is enough to make us the richest country in the world. Except that it's not being used. So anyway, and why is this happening? Why is it that we're giving wrong attention to gold and power and wealth and all of this? It's because of sheer ignorance. Like Ramatirtha said, iron and gold can buy what? Only iron and gold. You can't buy love with it, you can't buy respect with it, you can't buy anything that is worthwhile with it. You can't buy health with it. Ask a person whose kidneys have failed. What will he not give to get back healthy kidneys? So it's like when a person has a cough and goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, there's nothing wrong with your throat, there's nothing wrong with your lungs, nothing wrong with your respiratory system. You just have hyperacidity. Haven't you heard this? You correct your acidity, your cough will automatically go. Similarly, all of us, the accent is on the wrong syllable. We're chasing after mirages in the world. And every one of us must apply it to ourselves. Don't look at others and say, oh, this one is running after money. We are. Let's face it. What is it that you want in life? There is a yogic exercise where before you embark on it, the teacher tells you, think of a sankalpa that you have. Sankalpa means a desire, a deep-rooted, your life's mission. What is it that you want in life? Think of it very powerfully before you embark on this exercise. And I was thinking, what is it that I really want? Because see, there was nobody. There is the yoga teacher and there's me. There's no one else. And even the yoga teacher doesn't know what my sankalpa is. It's for me. It's between me and myself. You have to think. What is it that I really want from the depth of my being? What is it that I want? And you have to figure it out. Be honest with yourself. Because initially you will say, oh, I want my daughter to get married. I want this, I want that. And then go beyond it. Step by step. Is this really what I want? No. And go beyond it. Is this really what I want? And take it as an exercise. Find out your deep-rooted sankalpa. Don't tell me realization, that's not. Then you're being fake. deep down. And you see, because of these wrong values, because of ignorance, you have wrong values. Because of that, you have imaginary problems. Like, you may not believe it, but there are millionaires, there are billionaires who feel deprived. Deprived of what? Not love. Deprived of money. And then when you come to know of this, you say, oh my God, I am planning to get there. And if this guy feels deprived, then where does that leave me? Think. See, the problem is we don't think. There are sports persons who've been great achievers who feel bored. You know, there is that swimming sensation, 17-year-old Australian guy who won 8 Olympic golds or something in one Olympic. He quit. He quit swimming because he was just dead bored. These things happen in life. So you've got to find your own passion. You have to find your own inspiration that will keep you going till the last day of your life. Otherwise, now only if you're bored, what will happen to you by the time you hit 80? You're 1 foot in the grave. And that causes tremendous suffering. See, please remember one thing. The cause of the suffering may be imaginary, but the suffering is very real to you. Isn't it? You're going through that pain, either physical or emotional. So, the knowledge that the Bhagavad Gita gives us is both relative and absolute. Relative, it gives you knowledge of the world, it gives you knowledge of yourself, it gives you the technique of right contact with the world. And then, absolute. Like Swami Ramatirtha said, and he didn't mince words, he just spoke the truth. He said, you court anything, means you want anything, you desire anything other than Atman, you will be messed up. You will be unhappy. And all of us are unhappy because we are courting anything and everything except Atman. Please understand that. The next time something gives you pain or irritation or agitation, just understand you're chasing after the wrong thing in life. It has nothing to do with details. So, the 4th chapter is about refined action. Chapter 3 speaks of working in a spirit of yajna, sacrifice for a higher cause. That cause can be anything. And he was saying, he said, the tabla is not just a percussion instrument. It's not just giving beats. It's a musical instrument. And it's spiritual. So, you know, whatever profession or whatever vocation you pursue, in the end, it is about the spirit. Then he gives the relationship between Atman and action. Just as fuel is the main enabler. Fuel is that which enables all cars to move. But fuel itself does not move. Similarly, Atman enables all beings to act. But Atman has nothing to do with the quality of action. Without Atman, a murderer can't plunge his dagger into his victim. Without Atman, a sage meditating can't get to realization. Atman is equal in both these. I'm giving extremes. and the rest of us are in between. But Atman is not a participant in that action. Has nothing to do with the quality of action. It has no desire to get anywhere, to achieve anything. Just as fuel has no desire to go anywhere. So, Atman doesn't act, it only enables action. Now, once you understand that, the more you identify with Atman, the more objective you will be. You won't get involved in things because you know all this has nothing to do with Atman. And objectivity is the most fantastic quality you can develop. It is like you do everything with enthusiasm, vigor, excitement, all of that. Yet, within yourself, your internal needle is untouched. Then he says, actions do not bind the enlightened. So, enlightened person is one who sees, whose focus is on Atman. So the rest goes on. But he is not perturbed by it. It's like an actor acting a particular role in a play. So he plays different roles, they work in shifts. Do you know that? Actors. So sometimes he's acting 2 shifts, sometimes he's acting 3 shifts, sometimes he's acting only 1 shift. But suppose he's acting 3 shifts in one day. In the first shift, he's playing the role of a teenager in a university. Second shift, he's playing the role of a murderer. In the third one, he's playing the role of a person, a young adult, middle-aged person who is madly in love with someone. Actor is the same. But he plays various roles. Student, second I forgot, murderer, and a person who is madly in love. Is he any of those 3? No. He is Mr. So-and-so, the actor. He has nothing to do with these. But how beautifully every role that he plays, he gets under the skin of that role. He plays that role so brilliantly that you and I, the audience, get carried away. He is not affected. Why? Because never does he forget his real identity, which is the actor. Now come to us. We are also playing different roles. But we have long forgotten our real identity. Who are you minus the roles? Have you ever thought? You come up with a blank, you don't know. That I don't know is the starting point of your discovery. And that's why we say chapter 4 is refined action. You're acting, but your focus is on something else all the time. Your focus is on the actor, not the action. Action can be anything. Then, we've often seen that life consists of 3 transactions. All of us perform 3 transactions in life. These 3 are the 3 R's. Receipt of stimuli through the world. So the world enters us through the 5 organs of perception. Then reaction at the level of the mind and intellect. Which is why the same stimulus entering all of us, like just now, the same ideas are being presented, but each one responds differently. One says, I've heard it before. The second one says, Sounds interesting. The third one says, my God, I never thought of this before. That I am Atman playing different roles. So, why are they different reactions? Because the desires in the mind and intellect are different in different people. So, based on this reaction, you respond back into the world. One person says, never again on a Wednesday am I coming anywhere near Gamdevi. Second person says, if I have nothing to do, then I'll come. As if this is an entertainment park. Third one says, I'm committed. I'm just giving an example of different reactions. And then responses, actions. So these three, he's broken down further and formed 12 yajnas. Means 12 different kinds of sacrifices that you can make. Now in a yajna, go back to the basics. Yajna means havan. What happens in a havan? Two things that happen. One is, the procedure, right? The ritual. What happens? One is, you offer something, it's a fire ritual, right? So you offer something into the fire, that is called the ahuti, offering. And second is kindling. As a result of your offering ahuti into the fire shoots up. So there are two things that happen. Now in each of these 12 yajnas, he gives an offering and a kindling. Don't get confused, we'll get there. And then everything will be clear. So why is he doing this? Because we consider worship as a ritual, right? So either I have to do a puja at home, or I have to go to a temple, or I have to go on pilgrimage, or I have to do something different. Now you can't do this all the time because you have your work to do. You have your obligations. And yet, the principle of spiritual development is, as you think, so you become. So whatever you think of, you become that. Now the problem is, you may pray once a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day, but the majority of the time, what are you thinking of? What are you thinking of? World, correct. What are you thinking of? World. You're not thinking of God. So what will you become? World. You'll become a worldly, materialistic person. And then you say, Arey, but I'm praying every day. I light the lamp every day. I say my prayers every day. I put flowers on the deity every day. And yet I'm a materialistic person. So he's given us a way out. He says, you don't have to pull yourself away, tear yourself away from your worldly activities and give a spiritual activity. You cannot do that all the time. You can do it sometime. So what has he done very cleverly is, wherever your mind goes, he's planted a yajna there, havan there. You see the brilliance of these people. So whatever it is that you do, 12 yajnas means covers the whole activity phenomenon. Whatever a human being does, convert it into worship. He has converted it into worship. So you can't escape God. The most wonderful piece of literature anywhere in the world, this portion, that 12 yajnas, if you look at it like that, it is brilliant. So this is it. You've got to find the real meaning behind all of these, If you look at it on the surface, it's confusing. So what is he saying? Yajna of sense control, yajna of sense thing, yajna of giving, yajna. You go through the 12 yajnas, you will not understand anything. But if you understand the core, which is what is he trying to do? He is planting worship, planting God wherever you go. So you can't escape. And then if you view your entire life from this perspective, you don't need to worship because you're worshipping all the time. When you say, oh, Ganesh Chaturthi is coming, I have a puja at home, I bring Ganesha at home. You know what that means? Only once a year you are praying. But if you follow the 12 yajnas, you're praying all the time. P-R-A-Y, not P-R-E-Y. Then, even if you do a Ganesh Chaturthi puja, is nothing special because every moment of your life you're doing it. So please remember this. It is consistent, constant thinking. Your thoughts have power. Whatever you think is what is going to happen. So never mind the 12 yajnas, never mind the 4th chapter, never mind the Bhagavad Gita. Watch out for your thoughts. What are you thinking? If you're thinking golf, next janma you will become a golf ball. That is what it is. If you are hanging around the stock market, that is what you'll become. If you are a crook, that is where you'll be. You think of fish, you will become a fish next janma. This is the fact. So, what do we go back with today? Just watch your thoughts. What are you thinking of? If every moment of your life you are inspired to do something for humanity, let the whole world be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. And let me commit myself to the world being happy. Whoa, what an inspiration that is. This is what we pray every day. At least those who pray. You don't understand that. You say Sarve bhavantu sukhina and then go out and cause misery to people. That's the thing. And then he says, all yajnas culminate in wisdom. You follow the 12 yajnas, you reach God, you reach realization. And the last conclusion is most inspiring. He says, therefore, gain wisdom. It's simple, but potent. So with this, we begin with verse 1.
श्रीभगवानुवाच इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययं विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह मनुरीक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha, there are many chapters where Arjuna starts the whole conversation by asking a question. But in some chapters, Krishna takes off. This is one such chapter. He doesn't wait for a question. So he says, I told this imperishable yoga to Vivaswan. Vivaswan taught it to Manu. And Manu imparted it to Ikshvaku. So now these terms or these names, Vivaswan, Manu and Ikshvaku, mean nothing to us. But obviously they meant something to Arjuna. They were highly inspiring personalities to Arjuna. So it's like let's say you are a cricketer, you're mad about cricket. And someone comes and tells you, I taught this to Don Bradman, and Don Bradman taught it to Sunil Gavaskar, and Gavaskar taught it to Sachin Tendulkar. You'll be jumping with joy. You tell that to a youngster in school today, that means nothing. He yawns. So it's like that. Now, who was Vivaswan? Vivaswan was the sun god, and Rama belonged to the solar dynasty, Ikshvaku clan. Vivaswan taught it to Manu. Manu was considered the first human being and the initiator of the whole human race. And Manu taught it to Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku was the same lineage as Rama. He was the first king of the Ikshvaku clan. Now what he's saying, he's establishing the Guru Shishya Parampara, which is a deeply respected lineage. It's an unbroken guru, mentor, disciple lineage. In our culture, the guru, the teacher, is placed on the highest pedestal. A teacher who teaches anything, any knowledge, because we have the utmost respect for knowledge itself. And a spiritual guru particularly is respected because he is the person who takes us to that fourth plane of consciousness. Without a guru, it is not possible to reach that, because you're talking about a state of awakening which we have no access to, which cannot be explained in words, can't be transmitted through emotions or even concepts. How are you going to get there without guidance? Even in ordinary things, you see, whether in sport, every sports person, even the topmost, like the sinner, has a coach. Nadal had a coach all his life. And in the past, every king had an in-house sage. Means that sage was available to the king 24 hours a day. And every important matter would be scanned through that guru before taking any decision. Why? To protect the king from the ill effects of money and power. Because these two are like heady wine. Once it gets to you, you're finished. And you see what's happening in the world now. Anybody who gets that power or position or money, it just goes off. They lose their sanity completely, because it's difficult to hold on to them, difficult to keep your balance. And it is these sages that kept them on track. So he is glorifying the Guru Shishya Parampara. Now please don't misunderstand, it's not about a living person. And it's not about getting attached to a person. It is getting access to the brilliance of wisdom that lies in that person, which is completely different from the person. So you must always remember this right from the beginning. The person is finite. The person may have flaws. The person at least may appear to have flaws to you. But the wisdom is pure. It's perfect. So that is what you respect. It's not the person. And we must never forget that. But in the recent past, we've completely forgotten that. We just hang on to personalities. It doesn't help us and it doesn't help the Guru. Next verse.
एवं परम्परा प्राप्तम् इमं राजर्षयो विदुः सकाले नेह महता योगो नष्टः परन्तप.
Thus obtained through tradition. The royal sages knew this, Raja Rishis. But in long course of time, this yoga has perished. Here, O Parantapa. Now, he speaks this 5,000 years ago, but it's as if he's talking about it right now. This knowledge was obtained through tradition, through this Guru Shishya Parampara, this lineage for centuries. The royal sages knew it. You know, this concept of royal sages is there only in India and China. They also had this concept of kingly without sagely within. It's a fabulous concept which helps people keep their balance. So it also communicates that you can get external enrichment wealth only through internal enrichment. It's true, isn't it? Like, look at it in the relative. It's only a person with merit who gets wealth. How much did Sinha get by just winning the Wimbledon? Huh? Why did he get it? Merit. And it's not just the prize money, everything else that adds on. So he's on a different plane altogether. Why? Merit. Why did Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, cricketers, Virat Kohli, all these guys, how do they earn money? They were ordinary people, right? They didn't inherit money. How do they get it? Merit. Similarly, you must focus on merit. Don't look at connections. Don't look at, what do they call it? Networking. Just because you rub shoulders with a billionaire doesn't mean you're going to become a billionaire. What will make you a billionaire? Merit. How do you gain merit? Work hard. Simple. Even about Sachin Tendulkar, many people said, everyone says that he was hugely talented. Huh? True. But he wouldn't have achieved what he has achieved without hard work. He worked hard and he had value for it and he loved it. In so many interviews, he said, someone asked him, what are your best moments? He said, practicing in the hot sun. And that's no pleasure. You want to know what the cricketers go through? Go stand in the hot sun. It's not pleasant. Ask tennis players the rigor that they have to go through. But without that, you don't get. Similarly, in the spiritual field also, you have to pay the price for anything that you want. Nothing in the world comes for free. And here it is not money, please. It is much more than that. Money is easy to give. It is your heart and soul, your blood and sweat that you have to invest. Then you get it. There's a doctor who was telling me, she is a heart taskmaster, you know, the young doctors who come for training to her. So she just yelled at one of them, and then while she was talking to me, then after that she was telling me, she says, you know why I say this to them? Because they assume that everything is going to go right with the patient. But more often than not, patients don't follow textbooks. Suddenly something strange happens to a patient, you must know how to deal with it. How will you know? Apart from what is prescribed in the medical course, you have to sit in the library and work hard, read, study. Go out there in the wards and see what is happening to patients. Only then you learn. Huh? And she's telling me, these people, they want to go sleep through life. That is it. So if you don't have this respect for what? merit, you're not going to achieve anything in life. You want to evolve spiritually, you've got to put in that hard work. It's a hard work is not just going and going. It's not like going to the gym and lifting weights, please. It's much more, it's subtler than that. And therefore more difficult. How do you overcome your attachments? How do you rise above your desires? It's not easy. It's a fine balance. You can have what you like, you can eat what you like, you can enjoy what you like. You can have all the money, all the enjoyments in the world. But what is happening inside you is what matters. I don't know how to explain this. Somewhere inside you, you must be firm in the conviction that all this will come and go. But it is of no value. And my internal needle must not waver, even by 2%. That is when you've really achieved. We're both with success and failure. So you should be prepared for both because you don't know what's happening. And we in our field are put to the test all the time. Because this Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Guru Purnima was a great success. Not even one seat was empty. So it's cause for jubilation. But you don't know. The next time, there may be 5 people sitting there. How are you going to face it? Is that a mark of your worth? Or your hard work? You can put in double the hard work and then suddenly it rains. Like it happened once at Baidas. We put in a lot of hard work and then it was literally just washed out. Even I took time to get there. I was dripping wet when I got there. That's life, friends. But does that take away from your merit? Or does this add to your merit? This is what you need to think. Raja Rishis gained this knowledge. How did they gain it? There are 4 ways of gaining it. And that we'll come to shortly. Pratyaksha means you see it for yourself. Like you've gone and seen the Taj Mahal, you come back and tell your friends, oh, that's a fantastic thing, you must go and see. How do you say that with conviction? I've seen it, man, with my own eyes. So that carries weight. Next is Anuman. Anumanam means inference. You see smoke and you infer fire. You know where there is smoke, there's got to be fire. Third is Upama, comparison. And this is used a lot in philosophy, in Vedanta, because that's the only way you can communicate the 4th plane of consciousness. And the last is Agami, tradition. Here he is falling back on tradition, because he says that through tradition. We in India have a lot of value for tradition. If you say, this has come down through the ages, people will believe you. But if you say, however brilliant you are, I have discovered it, they say. So that's what he is falling back on. And then he uses the word yoga. Yoga is not standing on your head when you have 2 feet to stand on. Yoga comes from the root yuja, which means to join. You join back to your origin, to your original identity. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. You don't know. You're a blank. But that blank, that something, is the real you. Find it, search for it. Then you become a Mahatma. from an Alpatma. Right now you're a small little self. How do you become that Mahatma? By understanding your true identity. Next verse 3.
स एवायं मया तेद्य योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं ह्येतदुत्तमम्.
Today I will tell you that same supremely profound ancient yoga, because you are my devotee, you are my bhakta, and you are my sakha friend. It's a fabulous verse. So he gives the origin. It started with Vivaswan, Manu, Ikshvaku, so on and so forth. And now today I am telling you, says Krishna. Deliberately he is saying this. Because, and he spells it out, you are my devotee. How devotee? A devotee is one who has surrendered. A bhakta is one who has surrendered, who understands, I don't know. And I believe here is a person who knows. If you don't have this quality of surrender, you can't live in life. You have a medical problem, you find out who the good doctor is, you go to the doctor. You have to go with this basic surrender that I don't know what's happening to me and I believe you know. If you go thinking and the doctor prescribes surgery, if you go thinking that I don't know whether this guy is going to kill me or whether I emerge from that operation theatre alive or not, there is no relationship. You cannot go through with the surgery. Isn't it? Same thing with a lawyer. You have a very important legal issue and you go thinking, I don't know whether this guy is in partnership with the opponent lawyer. There's no relationship. You can't go ahead. But then, how do you know that this doctor will do you good? I don't know. You see? You can gather data, you can do all of that. But 100% do you know that this doctor will cure you? No. That is where surrender comes. And who benefits from this surrender? Not the teacher, not the guru, not the doctor, not the lawyer. Who benefits? You. Because then your mind is calm. You're not thinking of the worst case scenario. And you go through with the procedure, whatever it has to be done, smoothly. Then you'll say, what if he goofs up? That is your destiny. But you can't proceed in life. Similarly with the guru. See, if you have a negative outlook in life, you will suspect everybody, including your husband or wife or children. You can't live if you have this. So surrender is an inherent aspect of life and the guru insists on the student having that surrender because the student will not benefit. And second, very important, Sakha is a friend. A friend is one who understands you. Even when you make a mistake, understands where you're coming from and never gives up on you, is always with you. You commit a murder also, the friend is with you. It's a fantastic relationship. It's like Sudama and Krishna, the perfect understanding between the two. And yet they were so much apart. Krishna was a king, Sudama was a pauper. Never was there any question of asking for favors or capitalizing on a friendship or the influence. Nothing. It's just pure friendship, pure love between the two. So these two have to be there, friendship and surrender. Next verse, 4. And then, sorry, he reiterates that this is not mine, this has come from time immemorial. And I am only the present conveyor of this knowledge. Utter humility. He is a realized person, realized at birth, an avatar of Lord Vishnu, and yet never in his entire life did he assert, I am telling you, you take it from me. So this is the tradition. But it's supreme. Look at the words he uses. Supremely profound, ancient yoga. And why am I telling you? Because you happen to be a bhakta and a friend. Fantastic. Just this verse. The spirit comes out through this verse. Next verse, 4.
अर्जुन उवाच अपरं भवतो जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथमेतद्विजानीयाम् त्वमादौ प्रोक्तवानिति.
Arjuna returns the courtesy, but he has a doubt. So he says, your birth was later, Krishna. Vivaswan's birth was much earlier than yours. How then can I understand that you taught this knowledge to Vivaswan? Correct, no? If somebody comes and tells you that I taught this to Mahatma Gandhi. 17-year-old boy comes and says, I taught this to Mahatma Gandhi. He says, Arey yaar, you were just born. And Mahatma Gandhi died long before you. How could there have been any interaction between the two? That's what he's saying. This is his question. But in and through this verse, he is endorsing what Krishna said. Krishna called him as Bhakta and Sakha, friend. How does he do that? Because he says, Bhavata means Bhavan. In Sanskrit means aap. It's a respectful address. It's like saying aap in Hindi. And then he uses, in the same verse, he says Tvam. Tvam is tu. It's like you are a friend. Bhavan as a guru, I am your devotee. And Tvam because you are my friend. Dhritarashtra, just before the war began, the battle, Kurukshetra battle, he sent his spy to find out what the Pandavas are doing. So he goes there and he sees they're having a jolly good time. Just before the war, they are not nervous, they are not fearful, they are not sitting and planning the battle, they are having a jolly good time, and Arjuna is lying down with his feet on Krishna's lap. This is the kind of camaraderie they had, friendship. And yet deep down they all understood that Krishna is not like us. He plays with us, he jokes with us, all of that. But deep down he's a different soul. So he endorses that. Now, why does Arjuna ask this question? Because his vision is limited. And with this limited vision, he's speaking. So naturally a question comes up. What he doesn't realize is that when Krishna says, I taught it to Vivaswan, he's not talking about the personality of Krishna. What is he saying? Whoever reached the state of realization, whoever was an enlightened soul at that time taught Vivaswan. So Arjuna is caught up with personalities, with body, mind, intellect. When Krishna says I, he means Atman. Because for him there is no body, mind, intellect. For a realized soul, all this doesn't exist. And again you understand that by looking at our own experiences. You say I, me. At different times, you mean different things. When suppose you say, there's a new restaurant that has opened. Will you come with me? Let's have a meal there together. What are you talking about? What are you referring to? When you say, will you come with me? What does that mean? Huh? Body, correct. Suppose your good friend is in New York and you are here, and your friend has lost his mother. Mother's died. You call your friend to express solidarity with him and you say, I'm with you, 100% I'm with you. When you say, I am with you, what are you referring to? You are here and he is 10,000 miles away. Mind. My heart is with you, my feelings are with you. Huh? Then when a teacher is teaching in school and the students are, they have this glazed look in their eyes. The teacher says, what's wrong with you guys? Are you with me? The student can't say, sir, we have no choice but to be with you. We are here. What he means is, are you understanding me? Is your intellect with me? So even we, when we use the word I or me, we mean different things at different times. Right? Depending on where your identification is. But for an enlightened soul, the identification is only Atman. So when he says I or me, I taught Vivaswan, he's not referring to the personality of Krishna. We misunderstand that. So all religions are fighting because of the misunderstanding of that one pronoun. If only we understood that when Christ said, come to me, I will save you, he is referring to Atman. When Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up all dharmas and surrender to me alone. Who is he referring to? Atman. Both are saying the same thing. But the followers, I will convert you, you will go to hell if you don't get converted, all this happens. So, this is the basic that we need to understand. At any time, it is the realized soul who speaks. Atman speaks. So, what you teach is Atman. The rest is junk, discard it. But we hang on to the rest, we hang on to the junk and leave Atman. We discard Atman. So, that's why the first thing that Swami Ramatirtha said is separate the teachings from the teacher. It's a very useful guide, because otherwise you never learn. Separate the teachings. The teachings are pristine. The teachings are pure. Teacher may or may not be out. What difference does it make to you? But if you mix the two up, then you are in trouble. You can't learn. See, you're learning maths from a teacher. How does it matter whether, does it make a difference to you whether the teacher is married or not? Where the teacher lives? Why get into that? But you want to know everything about him, except what is his knowledge of math. We'll do one more verse.
श्रीभगवानुवाच बहूनि मे व्यतीतानि जन्मानि तव चार्जुन तान्यहं वेद सर्वाणि न त्वं वेत्थ परन्तप.
You and I have passed through many births, O Arjuna. I know them all. You do not know, O Parantapa, scorcher of foes. So, That is the basic difference between us and an enlightened soul. Our vision is so limited. We see only this janma, this, not even this janma, this narrow perspective we have of things. What we are caught up with today, only that we know. We don't know the totality. Imagine, suppose you were to be lifted out of your present thing and you have a panoramic view of all the janmas that you've had. Will you get involved in this? You know only the waking state right now. But that's not your entire life. Your life consists of waking, dream, and deep sleep states. But in life, you have access to only one state at any given time. Right now, you're awake, I hope. After some time, you'll be fast asleep or dreaming. When you're in one, you have no access to the other two. But your life is not just that one. Suppose you were to, again, lift yourself up and see all three together, instantly you'll become realized. Because then you'll understand the futility of it. Whether your friend liked your WhatsApp post or what is that? Social media post or Instagram post or not. How does it matter? Which state? Waking or dream? That is the problem. Because you have such a limited, restricted view of things, every little thing becomes a big issue. If only you had a panoramic view of your own life, you'd understand everything. That's what he's saying. See, he doesn't even go into the details. He doesn't say, I didn't teach Vivaswan, some other realized person taught. He's just giving the base. The base is you are in ignorance, man. Just gain knowledge, all your doubts will cease. Isn't that true? You have so many questions, so many doubts, so many queries about life itself. All that will dissolve. There will be Shanti. When you understand. But you don't want to know. That's the problem. There's knowledge everywhere.